So I came outside and I noticed this. So anyway, the reason I don't think we saw this leak is because of those cracks in the tile, and it was such a small leak that it was just dripping down there, and then it finally accumulated enough where it came out of that socket. So we're in the bathroom, and this is the window right here looking outside, and there's the valve. All right up here is the window, which the toilet is right here, which means the valve is right here. If you look, here's where I took the light out, and we still got a pretty good flow of water going there. All right, so what we've done is we've dried everything off under here. We've closed this valve off, and what we're going to try to do is see if this is leaking at all. If it's not, then we're going to turn this valve back on, and if it's leaking, then we know that's where our leak's coming from. So that's how we're going to diagnose this problem. All right, so to close the water off, you turn it clockwise to open it. I'm going to open this and see if I get any leakage here. All right, so you can see that this is a very, very slight leak. It's just a drop. You can see just a little drop popping out of there, but that has enough power to accumulate and cause a lot of damage, so you gotta fix it. So I wanted to look back here to see how dry that was, and it seems very dry. There isn't any water there, so it doesn't look like it's in the wall. So it looks like it's definitely this. So I think we can fix this today. Also, when you take this off, you're going to need something to catch the water in. Now this is really low here, and for some reason, you know, the guys stubbed this out within a couple inches from the bottom. So we've got to, we got to get something in there to catch the water when I pull this off, because it's going to leak out, and hopefully this will be big enough to do it. All right, so before you attempt to do this, you've got to shut the water off to the house. So this is my shutoff valve, and I'm just going to turn it up. So that's in the off position. You notice it's basically perpendicular to the direction. Usually that's how they do them. If you want them on, you have it flow even with the pipe. If not, 90 degrees to the pipe, usually. Now we come in here, we're just going to go and let the water out. You want to do the hot and cold, as you're draining the line so you don't have a big mess. Okay. We'll go ahead and shut that off. I'm going to do the same thing upstairs. I'm going to do it here too. See, there's no water coming through. All right, you want to make sure there's no water. So I opened that up, cleared. Right, over here, same thing. Okay, the first step is I've got to loosen this right here off of the toilet. So we got to get our channel locks in there. And remember, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm just going to kind of just get it going a little bit so I can get it off. And then I can hand untie it, do it with the hand. Now we're going to have water coming out of here. Hopefully it won't be too much, because we do have some water in the see, there it is. Let's see how much we get coming out. Hopefully not a lot. Nope, not too much. That's it, look. Now, hardly any water at all. So that was good, that was easy. All right, so next I've got to put a set of channel locks here, and I got to turn this counterclockwise. Got to hold that and then turn this. So that's what we're going to do next. Here's the water that's in there. So I'm just kind of letting that come out. Look at that thing spinning freely. So what I'm going to try to do is take off the end of this and change the plunger out and put a new one in and see if that solves the problem instead of cutting the whole thing off. Shit, that came right off of there. All right, because we've got a problem pulling this off and I don't really have a lot of pipe left, I'm thinking I'm going to try to rebuild the interior of this. And I bought two little things to do that. As you can see, if you look at this, that rubber washer is completely degraded. So if we can maybe use this one, then we'll have a new faceplate and screw won't be all rusted. And we might be able just to screw that right in. So we're going to take a look at that and see how closely this resembles that. And I mean, it looks like it's almost the exact same situation. And I think that as you can see, they match up pretty good. And I think that we might be able to just unscrew this and use the interior plunger on this. If not, I bought this set here that we're going to try using on that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one apart and we're going to look at the guts on the inside. And to do that, I should be able to just unscrew it with my channel locks. We'll see if that works. Grab it right here and just loosen it. It should just come right off. Oops, no, that's not doing that. It should just come right off. See, it's nice and loose now. And I'm hoping that this is exactly the same thing that we've got here. And then we can just screw it right in. And we'll take a look and see. So let's go ahead and pull that baby out of there. And there we are. So that just kind of screws in like that. And then if you unscrew it, bam. Let's take a look and see how closely these two match. I mean, that looks pretty close, doesn't it? I mean, that looks like that might just work. It almost looks like it's the exact same thing. Let's see if the diameter is the same. Looks the same, right? So we can try that and see if it works. And if it works, then we're good. See, that's what the interior of that looks like. So this is, and if that doesn't work, then we can rebuild this one. And as you can see, this is exactly the same thing. So, you know, because the reason I want to use this is because look how nice and shiny that is. That looks great, doesn't it? And if I can just screw that in there and then tighten it down, Bob's your uncle, man, we're set. So I'm thinking that might work. I mean, they look exactly the same, don't they? So let's give that a shot. Just make sure I get it threaded right. You don't want to cross thread it. So it's going to slide in. And this is going to go on there. Just like that. And then you got to tighten this down really good. I'm doing it by hand right now, but I'll put some pliers on it. Make sure it's in there tight. And then this closes it off. So let's back it all the way out. So that's completely open. And then all I have to do is, all right, so I just got to get the wrench on there, tighten it a little bit, or the channel locks. So we definitely did a workaround on this. And hopefully that's going to be enough. All right, so now I've got the plumber's tape on there, and I'm going to take the supply line that goes to the toilet. I'm going to just basically use my fingers to try to get it threaded and kind of, you know, get it screwed down. As you notice, got that extra plumber's tape for safety. And then after, we're going to go ahead and put the channel locks on it and tighten that baby down. Now you're going to notice in the next clip that I took the handle and the plunger out because I wanted to do a little bit better job on it and clean it up a little bit more. Kind of brush these threads off, make sure they're clean.
And I think we might put some plumber's tape on this.
So I went ahead and put some plumber's tape on the end of this just to give it a little bit added protection. So now we've got to slide our handle and our plunger in, and then you have to kind of screw it in because there's threads in there. So I'm turning it until it's in there, and then I take the collar and I'm going to turn the collar up on the threads that I put the plumber's tape over and try to get it. I'm going to use my other hand. I'm going to try to get it threaded first with my fingers just to make sure I'm not cross-threading it because I don't want to screw it up, because if you cross-thread it, you're going to have a leak. So I tighten it as best I can with my fingers, and then I'm going to put the channel locks on it and tighten it down. All right, next, before I really tighten it down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that plunger back by turning it counterclockwise so that I'm not forcing it into, in there. I don't want to get stuck. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit, and then I can get my fingers on it. Now I'm going to tighten her down with the, I'm going to try to tighten her down with the channel locks a little bit. And you don't want to go too tight because you don't want to screw anything up. So if you go too tight, you'll notice that you'll freeze up your handle. So be careful. Okay, so before I turn her on, I put this little thing under there just in case we still got a drip. And man, I just don't know how we can have a drip now. I've got that on there tight. I got plumber's tape on it. It should work, right? It should work. So let's go ahead and we'll turn the water on and see what happens. If this doesn't work, we got to cut it off and start from scratch. I got everything here to do that. All right, I'm going to go and turn the water back on and run back upstairs. Hopefully there's not a leak. Yep, water's going. Wash your fingers. I don't have a... I hear it. No drip. No drips. Or is there a drip? All right, it looks like we fixed that little son of a gun. All right, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my other awesome videos on how to do stuff I've never done before, and you can too. Peace out.